the current one, and especially when it comes to the question of human rights. Many have argued that the environment isn't as friendly ahead of the general election in Tanzania.
First of all, thank you for having me. And as Amnesty International, we just published a report, unopposed, unchecked, unjust, wave of terror sweeps Tanzania ahead of 2025 election. This report goes into looking at how the environment has been over the last 2 years as Tanzania heads to election. And we are looking back to 2020 when we issued a similar report, Lawfare, during the administration of President John Pombe Magufuli the late, where repression was on top. But now we are seeing repression being on steroids, if I may say.
Okay.
Nobody is spared, from a TikToker to an ambassador who would be abducted and would go missing. So some of the things that we are seeing in the context of the 2025 elections, which happens in a few days, one is interference of political parties by the electoral body itself. We have several candidates that have been barred from participating in the elections.
Right.
We have a whole party, the main opposition party, Chadema, Chama cha Demokrasia na Maendeleo, that has been barred from participating. Its presidential candidate, Tundu Lissu, is in prison as we speak.
At least there was a release yesterday. I saw him celebrating, it should be yesterday, saying that at least he's managed to counter the accusations successfully. I carried a story on that.
No, he's not been released, has he?
It's your release, lakini alikuwa anazungumzia kwamba amefanikisha
kuna matumaini makubwa ya kushinda kesi kwa sababu ya kuna aina ya ushahidi na shahidi kubaliki kitaratibu za kimahakama.
Yes. Hiyo sasa haisaidii lolote kwa sababu tayari uchaguzi ndio huu.
Hakuna uwezekano wote wa yeye kuwepo wakati wa uchaguzi kama mgombea kwa uchaguzi huu. Labda kutokee jambo lingine lolote la kuhairisha au kusitisha uchaguzi.
Yeah, because the next time is in court is 3rd November. Yes. So 3rd November, either President Samia Suluhu Hassan will have been sworn in, and what people are waiting for is only a declaration, because the only two main opposition candidates that would have given Samia some kind of a challenge is one, Tundu Lissu, and second, there was a defector from CCM, Luhaga Mpina, who was also disqualified.
Right.
ACT Wazalendo went to court, but the electoral body disregarded the court orders to reinstate him to run for elections. You're also seeing an electoral body that does not respect court rulings, meaning that even if elections were to be challenged at any level, then a CCM would definitely have its way.
Yeah.
But back to the report, we have documented killing of an opposition senior member, Mohamed Ali Kibao.
Right.
We have documented, disappearances, and more recently of an ambassador, former ambassador Humphrey Polepole, and 6 others who have disappeared, and the state has not publicly made any statement with regards to their whereabouts. We have documented curtailment of right to freedom of movement of Tanzanians, and especially opposition leaders. We have documented torture, and recently of Ugandan Agatha Tuhaire and Kenyan activist Boniface Mwangi that were arbitrarily arrested, tortured, and dumped near the borders to their countries. The case of Mwabili Mwagodi. So arbitrary arrests are the order of the days. Those are just not, the cases that we have is just, prominent examples. We have documented cases where other foreigners have been denied their right to freedom of movement, which goes against the East African Treaty. And the case of Martha Karua, former minister in Kenya, the case of Willy Mutunga, a former chief justice who were detained at the airport and forced to return when going to attend trial observation of Tundu Lissu. And we have also documented unfair trials, and the treason trial against Tundu Lissu is one of them, but there are so many attacks on opposition leader or critics. We've got Reverend Bishop Kitima, who was beaten a day after criticized the state.
Right.
We have the attacks on Polepole and other bishops. We have attacks on Gwajima, Bishop Gwajima, where after he criticized the state. And these are CCM members. These are members of the ruling party.